Long ago, in a village tucked between quiet hills, night would fall softly, and with it, a hush over every rooftop. One by one, the lanterns dimmed, and the whole village drifted gently to sleep. But someone was still awake. Kaito, a quiet boy with an empty jar on his back, walked the sleeping streets. Beside him trotted Mochi, his small, glowing friend. Every night, dreams slipped away from sleepers who had let them go. A silver wisp drifted from a baker's open window, and Kaito raised his jar gently, letting it drift inside. This was his work, quietly, carefully, saving what others had lost. At the village well, Kaito paused to rest, watching his reflection ripple beside Mochi's. For a moment, the whole world seemed still. Just a boy, his friend, and the moon caught in the water. Then, as he always did, Kaito turned toward the hills, toward the windmill waiting at the top, where every rescued dream found a home. There, in a garden of glowing flowers, lived Oba Yui, the keeper of lost dreams. Each bloom had once been a wisp, just like the one in Kaito's jar, planted and given new life. When she saw him coming up the path, her face lit with a warm, familiar smile. Kaito knelt and let the wisp fall gently into the soil. In an instant, it bloomed into a small flower of glass and light. Yui rested a hand on his shoulder. Another one saved. Together, they shared tea in comfortable silence. Mochi curled warm beside the steam. Days passed, and Kaito's rounds continued, until one night he came upon a small house marked with a red paper charm. Somewhere inside, someone was sick. Through the window, a little girl named May tossed and turned in her sleep. But no dream rose from her, not even one. Worried, Kaito hurried back up the hill to find Yui, showing her his empty jar.
Look, this jar is completely empty.
You should go to the village and get some water.
Yui's smile faded. She knew exactly what this meant. She led him inside, past shelves of old jars holding dreams long forgotten, until she found the one she was looking for. Inside, a single wisp flickered weakly, cracked and fading, tied with a child's drawing. It was May's dream, lost long ago.
Take good care of it.
I will, Grandmother.
Kaito took the fragile jar in both hands and made a quiet promise to himself. Carefully, very carefully, he carried it down the hillside. But the wind was rising, and it would not be gentle tonight. A sudden gust tore the jar from his hands. It shattered against the stones, and the dying wisp burst into a dozen scattered sparks, swept away into the dark trees. Kaito ran after them without a second thought. Mochi bounding ahead, glowing brighter to light the way through the storm-tossed forest. One by one, he cupped the scattered sparks in his hands, like fireflies caught in a gentle net. Mochi helped too, chasing one from the roots, guiding another with its glow. Kaito climbed for one caught in the branches, knelt for two drifting near a fallen log, and searched every fern and shadow for the one still missing. At last, Mochi found the final spark, tangled in a spider's web, and Kaito freed it with the gentlest hands. The wind finally died down. Breathless, Kaito knelt at the forest's edge, the sparks glowing weakly but steadily in his cupped palms. Mochi breathed warmth onto them, and slowly, they grew brighter. Kaito smiled, tired, but not giving up. It was time to go home. Yui was waiting at the gate, worry easing into relief the moment she saw him. Together, they guided each spark gently into a single small jar, until at last the light steadied and grew warm and whole once again. Yui pressed the jar into his hands and sent him running, back down the hill, back through the sleeping village, the jar glowing warm against his chest. He reached May's window at last, breathless, and gently opened the jar. The restored wisp drifted free, curling through the gap in the glass, and settled softly over the sleeping girl, like a blanket made of light. May's restless sleep eased. A small, peaceful smile crossed her face. Outside, watching through the window, Kaito finally let himself breathe. As the sky began to soften from night into dawn, Kaito made his way home. Mochi's glow dimmed gently, curling against his shoulder to rest. Back at the windmill, Yui watched him go with a quiet, knowing smile, and set a brand new jar on the doorstep, ready and waiting for tomorrow night. Slowly, the village woke. Warm golden light spilled over rooftops, smoke curled from morning chimneys, and the windmill kept turning, steady on the hill, just as it always had, and just as it always would. For as long as dreams are lost, there will always be someone gentle enough to find them. Moral of the story: even the smallest, quietest acts of care can carry someone else's hope back to life.
Bye-bye! Don't forget to hit subscribe for more videos.